Well, good morning, and I hope everyone is doing well and enjoying their Labor Day. Those of you who get to enjoy a day off from your labor, and I trust that God will make it a wonderful time for you to rest and relax, maybe spend some time with family, friends, and with the Lord, of course. And as we continue our devotions, I'm going to stay with Genesis, and today, again in Genesis 4, we have just come out of Cain murdering Abel, the two sons of Adam and Eve. And next we hear the story of the birth of Seth. She gave birth to a son and named him Seth, saying, "The Holy One has provided me another child in place of Abel." Now, obviously, nobody's going to replace Abel, but there's just this sense of introducing this next line in Adam and Eve's family here. And I think it's important that we understand that's kind of what's going on. We're discovering who God is in Genesis, if we haven't figured that out yet. And first off, we see He is a creative God. And one of the things I think we're next introduced to about who God is that He makes some clear lines of distinction. Havdalav, I think is the Hebrew word for that. And the idea here is it's either day or night, it's either land or water, either male or female. And in the worship, when Abel and Cain gave their offering to the Lord, it was either accepted or not accepted. And there's where Cain was getting his frustration, and we're beginning to see his heart, and his heart was set apart from God, and that's where murder crept in, and God loved him enough to say, hey, you keep going this route, the consequences are going to get harder and harder, and to the point where he murdered his own brother. And so we see this process of God making distinctions between right and wrong. There is a right, there is a wrong, and there is a light, there is a dark. And I know our culture now struggles with that concept there, but that's the very first concept that one of the very first concepts that the Bible introduces to us and to our way of thinking, our worldview. This is the way we need to. I think the Scriptures are encouraging us to look at the world. There is a right and there is a wrong. There is truth and there is lie. And again, I think in the world we're in now that there's a lot in our culture that are struggling with that. What is truth? What is right? What is just? And we, I think we've got a long ways to go in trying to figure that out. But I think in the story of Genesis, we can follow some of that and maybe begin to discover, how do we know what is right and wrong? How do we know this is the right direction to go in? How do we, and I hopefully will get us to the point where we can start this saying, all right, how do I know when a system is racist, or when there's a good cop and a bad cop, and how the justice system deals with those issues of unjust law enforcement, as well as unjust, we'll just say the riots that are going on now. Many of the things that we see on the news, though they may be presented as peaceful, they're far from peaceful, and to I think it does a disservice to our community and to a just legal system to call things that are ugly and wrong okay. And we need to I would say, just figure that out. And I think that the theology that's presented to us here in Genesis is a key to helping us figure that out and to move forward as a culture, as a community of believers here. And as you go on, Seth is born, and we began to watch Cain, and unfortunately continues to make some I would say some bad decisions. Scripture say Cain knew his wife in 4:17, and she conceived and gave birth to Enoch. And we see 7 generations be born, and we see a lineage that has chosen to step away from God, and it's in the 7th generation. I guess you would say the number of completion that line of family disappears through the flood, and it's through Seth's family that the world continues. But I thought I would encourage you to maybe look at that a little bit, and look at the line of Cain. It's not all bad. There are some characters that come out of this line that do know God. There's Enoch. Methuselah is in this line as well. Methuselah, just for your information, if you have a Strong's Concordance, it's word 4967, and it means who is of God. And isn't that a neat name there? And Enoch, dedicated to Strong's Concordance number 2585, and means dedicated, and dedicated, educated, trained in the Lord. So keep that in mind as what Father chooses, the children, grandchildren don't have to choose. That there can be a different choice made, and a part of that is running into a creative God who gives us a good line of distinction, good boundaries to understand and to walk in. Well, I'll stop there, and we'll look at Seth's line next time we're together. I trust that you'll have a great week, and call if you need anything. Blessings. Bye now.